All right, so we're going to do the ultimate at the bottom of the hour, but sitting with us right now, Jessica Rose Clark. Jessica, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Or is it Jessy?
Jessy is my nickname. Jessica Rose Clark is my actual name, my birth name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So so listen. Let's give people an idea of who you are. You're obviously from Australia. How long have you been in the States?
I've been in the US. Oh God. 6 years.
Okay, so I'm about 6 years as well, coming from the UK.
Yeah.
What do you miss from back home?
The food.
Do you know I say exactly the same thing?
Food, yeah.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, obviously, you people will talk to you about, like, Vegemite and stuff like this, but
I eat Vegemite every day, by the way.
Do you still do
I
it?
actually do. I eat Vegemite every single morning.
So you are...
Who's that? That's Men with Hats, right?
Vegemite.
Vegemite. It's
No,
a spread.
I know, but that's who sang the song.
Vegemite.
Oh, Men at Work? Did you
Men
say
at Work.
Men with Hats?
Men with Hats. Men at Work. All right. Well, they wore a hat.
Oh, man.
I'm doing a lot of things. Men at Work. Okay.
Close.
Okay.
One thing, so, do they get Tim Tams here?
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I
they
know.
do.
So I'll have to. I meant to say when we knew that you were coming on, it's the one thing I forgot because my best friend here is from Melbourne,
Oh, okay.
and he brings in all the Tim Tams. It's like a chocolate biscuit. But I'm going to do the Tim Tam Slam with you at some point.
Oh my God, yes, please do. I introduce every single person to that.
Can I show you the Tim Tam Slam? I'll let Jess explain.
Yeah,
what
explain
is.
it first before I agree to anything.
No, just agree to it.
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
weird.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
weird. It's
No.
delicious.
No.
It's delicious.
I'm not saying I won't do it, but I just want to know what it is.
So a Tim Tam is a rectangular biscuit, cookie, I guess, kind of. It's like for the Americans. It's two cookies, and then there's a filling, and then it's like dipped in chocolate, right? So it's a little rectangle. So you bite off diagonal corners, and then you drink milk through it, or like hot coffee, hot tea. It has to be warm
Okay.
milk, tea, coffee. And then it like melts the inside of it, and then you eat it, and it's especially if you get the caramel Tim Tam that have the little bit of caramel in the middle, and it gets kind of soft, and oh my goodness,
And literally what happens is just heaven afterwards.
it's so incredible.
It's like being punched in the face by chocolate.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean? It literally is that.
I understand.
It's an amazing thing.
Everyone needs to experience. I every time I get a pack of Tim Tams, I have a few friends who send me care packages from home. I just take the milk and the Tim Tams around everywhere. Go, everyone's got to do this. It's kind of gross because we're all drinking from the same milk, but
So,
Well, even if it's bad, I mean, I crossed the equator in the military, so the stuff you have to eat and do.
oh no, this is nothing like
okay.
that. It's actually good.
Right.
You don't. There's no bugs. Like you don't have to. Yeah.
I had to do that as well.
You don't have to eat fish eyes. Like it's chocolate and biscuit.
How much do you know about the military and crossing the equator?
I know nothing.
I think you do.
You know about Tim Tams. That's it.
For sure.
Well, listen. So we try our best, especially at media day,
Not to ask anything.
not to ask.
sensible.
Like people say, "Hey, how's training going? Any injuries?" Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're never going to get honest
And it
answers
just,
about any of
it
it.
just
Exactly.
annoys people, and like I said, you give your time in a very important part of you've worked for however many weeks to get to this point. What is it like now, having been in this game as long as you have? What is it like now seeing the level of popularity of MMA in Australia and obviously in New Zealand and being a part of that? That must be pretty amazing because it's only a couple of years ago that the sport had never even been there really. It had no superstars, and now there's like an elite group of you guys and girls that are kicking backside all over the world.
Yeah, mate. I'm pretty sure like when I was still in Australia, fighting in a cage was still illegal in Melbourne, in Victoria,
Yeah.
So there's been so many changes recently that have kind of increased the popularity of it back home. It's awesome. It's so cool. Like when I first got signed, there was only a couple of dudes and a couple of women, and now like we've had Robert Whittaker, who was multiple times champion. We have Alex, who's defending his belt. We have from New Zealand, Israel Adesanya, like there's so many high-level Kiwis and Aussies,
Yeah.
legitimately at the top of the sport. And that's such a beautiful thing because there was only Mark Hunt, Anthony Parash.
I'm waiting.
God, I'm losing his name. I trained under him. Anyway, like that. We meet so many people. It is amazing. One thing I have noticed, which kind of bumps me out, is that in the UFC, there's only two Aussie women now.
Right.
And then there's two other Aussie women who are fighting in Bellator. and one in Benenoch. So there's 5 of us total, and I don't know anyone else who's coming up through the ranks, you know. So I'm really hoping that the popularity is going to mean more women are going to get into the sport as well. But
Sure.
yeah, it's getting bigger, and that's beautiful.
You know, I always joke about getting punched in the face, right? Because I have so many
A lot of
friends.
men pay money to get punched.
Yeah, well, I know that. I can't even
Family radio.
No, I know stories. I know stories, but I believe I'd get punched in the face by Elvis Sinisek if we didn't throw his name
Yeah,
out.
Elvis.
Yeah.
That you know what? That was actually the name I was trying to think of.
Okay.
I did a seminar at his gym last time I was in Australia.
I haven't seen him since when Matt Hughes, well, he fought in London.
Yeah.
Matt Hughes fought Carlos Newton. Elvis was my co-host.
Oh, really?
All week long.
He's a funny dude.
I love
He's
him.
Hilarious.
One of the things that still bothers me, it still haunts me to this day. So Elvis fights, he doesn't do well, he loses, and he's sitting behind me, and I refuse to turn around and look at him. You know, I just can't. You know, he's beat up, and he feels all down, and finally he's like, mate. He was calling mate before you were, you know, I met you. He's like, sorry, mate. You know, like, what are you sorry for me for? It just crushed my heart that
Well,
he
you
said
clearly
that.
hated him because you wouldn't even look at him.
No, I just didn't want him to say that. You know, he's not fighting for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love Elvis. He's a good dude.
He is such a good dude. Yeah, he really is.
Listen, so go
ahead, Caleb.
Go, Caleb.
A few.
Just a couple. Oh. You know, I have a matching Elvis record with my mum, which is one of my favorites, and then I have my dogs tatted on my leg, which I love my dogs. Anyone who knows me knows that I love my dogs more than I probably love my mum, honestly.
Caleb back in the studio plays in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, a big tat guy. I'll tell you my dog story.
Okay.
So never wanted a dog.
Yeah.
Never wanted a dog. I don't mind them, but I never really wanted one. And then I have a friend of mine who trained the attack dogs at the White House.
Okay.
So I told him that we're getting a Yorkie poo. And you know what he told me? I will never talk to you again.
I would have said the same thing.
And you know what? We've never talked again. So anyway, I go to the Humane Society. There's these 2 little, you know, Yorkie poos.
Oh, so you got a rescue at least.
That's right. We did take a rescue. We brought it home. The guy goes, take it home over the weekend. If you don't like her, bring her back. That's the ploy, because you take it home, you don't bring it back. So on Tuesday, my wife went to work. She's a nurse in Tampa. And I had to take the dog to the Humane Society for a shot or something. I don't remember. I drove home and I called her. I said, honey, I became one of them today. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I went to Subway. I didn't want to go home and take the dog home and then go to Subway, so I carried the puppy into Subway. I carried the puppy into Subway. I'm like, you're not going to leave the dog in the car, right? I became one of them.
That too?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
You know what?
So I'm one of you now.
I'm talking to you because
Okay, all right, good.
That's hilarious. So listen, I've read a lot about you're very close with your mum.
Yeah.
And you know what a lot of people don't understand, especially living in the US, the British and the Aussies, obviously we're very kind of close in the sense that we do a lot of things similar. But when you come to America, obviously the distance and all this kind of stuff, the sporting mentality and the mentality to win at all costs and the ferocity that happens in rugby, in cricket, you know, and it passes through all Aussies. It's kind of the way that you're made, you know.
Yeah.
But you have a very special relationship with your mum, and I know that things, you know, when you were growing up, was it hard growing up, and was that a catalyst to you wanting to be a fighter? Was that a real kind of way of, you know, just getting out? Was that where the fight came from? You know.
That's a really good question. You know, I actually didn't start training or fighting until I was 23.
Oh wow, okay.
But I had such a unique upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, like my parents divorced very early. I traveled around in a van with my mom and my brothers and sisters and a couple of dogs. And I've always been really independent. And I feel like I've spent my entire life, well, up until I found fighting, just searching for that thing that makes me feel whole, you know? And I watched my mom had me at 19, and then proceeded to have my brothers and sisters after that. And being a single parent, like, she was the one solely responsible for us. And so I watched her give up everything that she'd ever wanted to do with her life to be a parent, you know? And it was only when my youngest brother on her side like hit 12 or so, that she actually started doing things for herself.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of my desire to succeed comes from a gratitude that she did that. Because I don't even think initially when she had me, like, I was an accident. I wasn't planned, you know, and I don't even necessarily think she wanted to have kids at that, like, definitely not then at 19 as a teenager. But I have a lot of gratitude for the things that I've watched her give up, because my dad never had to give up any of that. You know,
Sure.
My dad left and did his own thing, did
Right.
whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah.
And my mum spent her time raising us. So, yeah, a huge driving force is I want to do well for her so that I can repay her for what she did for us.
Beautiful. Yeah.
What's fight week like for you?
Pretty chill, honestly. You know what? Like, I got to my last session on Monday. I had still 3 sessions on Monday, but I finished my last session on Monday, and I was like, you know what? I'm so thankful I'm not on a schedule anymore. I'm so over. Like,
Yeah.
I love training, but I'm like, I just like having to be. Like, I'm a traveler, I'm a gypsy. Like, I like to kind of be on my own time and do the things that I love to do, you know, and obviously camp for 8 or 9 weeks is like be here at this time, and I drive about 5 hours every day to get to and from training. And when my last session finished on Monday, even though I was driving out here on Tuesday at 7 hours, I was still just like, man, okay, I'm on my own time. You know, like I have a bit of media on Wednesday, but outside of that, like I can sleep in. And also I miss my dogs a lot, but they're Australian cattle dogs, so they take a lot of energy. So when I'm at home, I still have to give a lot of energy, you know. And one of the things that I do appreciate in fight week is that I'm not waking up on their schedule. You know, I don't have to get up to let them out. Like I can just chill.
Yeah.
And yeah, so fight week is usually the most relaxing week of my life, you know.
Until the reward.
I get 2 or 3 of them a year, and whew, I look forward to that. I think we all have a point to prove, because people talk so much trash still, even in 2022, about women fighting, you know? So then, even with a new contract signed, whatever it is, it still feels like we have to earn our spot, you know? Like earn our reputation, earn the right to be there. I don't know if that'll ever change. I hope it does one day, but until it does, you get to see the most entertaining fights, I think.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
Sad if you believe it, sad if you have to believe it, and
Yeah.
sad that people do believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you look at my inbox, there's a lot of people that still believe we shouldn't be there. There's even been high-level male UFC fighters who have vocalized that they don't think women should be fighting.
Fighting in general, not even at the UFC level.
Yeah, which sucks.
But you can't teach stupid. So,
You
know.
can.
For sure. What can the fans expect Saturday when you get your reward? I've always been told the work is done. The work is what you do, and now the enjoyment, summer school, whatever, summer vacation is Saturday.
You know what? We'll see. We'll see. I'm always pretty happy to be there, and I try not to plan too much, you know. I like to be adaptable. I like to be diverse, and I think we're going to kick off the card well.
I've always said what amazes me is I've been around the UFC since number 1.
Yep.
You know, it's a long time.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm old. Yeah, longest running
I'm
MMA
pretty sure
show.
they were in the hundreds when I
Yeah,
first started watching it.
Julius Caesar was repping it. Yeah.
They were probably in the hundreds when you were born, so not when you started. So yeah, you know, we
Wait,
go.
how old do you think I am?
20.
Oh, thank you.
Just going to take that because I've
Yeah.
got the page
Oh.
right.
You've
in front
got
of me,
you've
yeah.
got my actual age, right?
Fabulous. Yeah.
How much?
I'm not saying it. It's rude. I'm not saying.
Well, if it's on
We're a
Google.
professional fighter.
I mean, it's on the internet. I'm 35 this year.
Oh, see, I would have never known that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. But now I've got the sidetrack. I'm so old, I forgot the question I was starting to ask you.
We're talking about being in the UFC since UFC
You've
1.
been here since.
No, but it was before. What was I
We're
saying?
talking
I'm
about
old.
women not being accepted as much fighting. We were talking about what to expect on fight night, and I said I train to be adaptable and versatile, and you were like, it always...
I know what it is now. Yeah, it always amazes me, and I've always talked about this, how nice some athletes are. And then they get in a fist fight on Saturday. I can't imagine you being that person
It's a sport,
to
though.
be in a fist fight
But
on
it's a
Saturday.
sport. It's a sport. It's like there's nice football players, and then they go and shoulder charge other dudes. You know.
Caleb, are you a nice guy?
You have a nice voice. I'm going to say yes.
Oh.
He just dropped it like a couple of decibels there, just like to go a bit
Yeah, I
deeper.
really appreciate that.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So, listen, when you finished Saturday and you go home to the dogs,
Do you take him to Subway?
That I don't. My girl, she's so mean. She bites people. I can't take her anywhere.
Okay.
so listen, what do you like miss about having to throw yourself into 12 weeks of a camp, and you know the stresses of the training and the weight cutting and the diet and all of this kind of stuff? What do you do next week? Where do you go to eat? We're not going to follow you, by the way.
Okay.
But
You don't want to give you specifics. I feel like.
But where do you go to eat? You know, what are you kind of, what's next week all about? As far
Hey,
as,
you know what? I might be the only person you talk to that says this, but I don't actually cut much weight.
Right.
So like
I don't either.
I had ribs on Sunday. Like I made ribs on Sunday and ate that. So I don't diet. You know, just had a breakfast sandwich. Like cool, you know. But the thing that I look forward to the most is road tripping with my dogs. So I'm planning on taking them up to Oregon. We're gonna go disappear somewhere in Oregon for a week.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
Sounds fabulous.
Jessica, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having
We're
me.
going to get your information. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong.
I'm excited.
We're going to send you.
I like 8 Man Strong.
Do
They
you?
actually sent me a package not that long ago and wrote a really beautiful note in there because I promote sobriety a lot. I'm almost 4 years sober. They sent me a really beautiful message about promoting sobriety as well. So I'm a big fan of 8 Man Strong.
Which is, Adam does a lot of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So they're our title sponsor. So we'll send you a care package from them.
Thank you.
We're going to send you a care package from Odd Sock Official. If you'd like to pick out a pair of socks here,
Okay.
you're welcome to that. As well as, and this may fit, even the most, we just hooked up with a company called Right on Track.
Okay.
And they make packaged food for like hiking and
okay.
camping.
Yeah.
And this food, I'll send you both some.
Don't send me any.
It's good.
I don't go hiking.
Yeah,
I don't either.
My training
I mean,
days.
with your Timberlands, you don't seem like a big hiker.
My training days are over.
But what I'm trying to get at is it's so good
Right.
that you can, like the grits I had just out of a bag is incredible.
take that.
So we're going to send you
Thank
some of that as well. Thank you for your time and have a great time on
Thank
Saturday.
you for having me.
All right, let's go hit a quick break and we'll come back live from the Apex. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Song.
Beautiful.